Hello. Welcome to another episode of Sherry the Preventionist, and I am Sherry. Today, look at what's surrounding us. We are surrounded by trees, so we are breathing in fresh air. We are here at the Kenya Museum's offices, the headquarters, and we are privileged to have one of the scientists. Remember, guys, I told you Sherry the Preventionist show will bring you scientists who will give us the science in it, and how we'll be bringing it further and further to make it more practical, powerful, and simple. I am privileged to be joined by Dr. Edward Njagi, who happens to work at the museum, and I'm going to invite him. He's going to introduce himself and tell us what he does here at the museum. Edward, hi.
Hi.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
This is Sherry the Preventionist Show.
Thank
Here
you.
we talk about all things prevention of diseases and prevention of injuries. You're welcome. You can tell our viewers what's your name and what you do.
Thank you very much, viewers. My name is Edward Njagi. I'm a research scientist based at the National Museums of Kenya. I work in a section called the ichthyology section. Ichthyology is a study of fishes, both freshwater and marine. And apart from that, I do many other things, both in the office and in the field. And most importantly, actually, I explore a lot on aquatic habitats, knowing what lives there, what they eat, how they live, and how they interact.
That sounds very interesting. It sounds like, 3/4 of your time you are under the sea or the rivers. Is that the case, or what is?
Yeah, actually, that is true.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm always actually here at the museum when I'm doing reports and writing other documents, and also publishing, because we also publish.
Okay.
Yeah, and also designing community outreach programs.
Yes.
Yeah, because actually most of what we do, you have to make it known out there.
Yes.
Yeah, both in the scientific world and also to the local mwananchi, actually in the simplest language possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Mr. Njagi, you've told us that you are a scientist and a researcher, and your work entails research around the fish and all that. And I don't know if it is a rhetoric statement or it is true that there's something people are talking about climate change, and they are saying also the aquatic life is so much affected.
Yeah.
Maybe you can break to us. I would want you to explain to me, like a small child, what is this thing people are calling climate change? What is all about?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. And actually, I would say climate change is real and it's with us.
Yes.
And in most cases, people tend to confuse what climate change is. In broader terms, actually, climate change is the change in the weather patterns and temperatures, actually. But this takes time over a prolonged period of time, and basically a period of like 30 years.
Okay.
Yes, people confuse climate change and climate variability.
Okay.
Actually,
Interesting.
yeah, climate variability actually occurs in shorter periods,
Mm-hmm.
5 years and below.
Okay.
That's why we have like erratic rainfall,
Yeah.
sudden rise in temperatures and all that.
Yeah.
That is climate variability.
Yes.
Yes.
So right now, what people are talking about, is it climate variability or the change that occurs after the 30 years?
Actually, the repeated climate variability patterns actually link to climate change.
Oh.
So it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, climate change actually is that repeated pattern over a longer period of time. Actually,
Yes.
like 30 years.
Yes.
And above.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to ask Mr. Njagi, this climate change, is it a natural process, or it is something that is, it has some predisposing or some contributing factors?
Thank you very much. Actually, that's a very good question. It is both natural and also anthropogenic, which can be caused by human beings.
Okay.
When I talk about natural, actually, natural, the sun strikes the earth.
Yes.
And generally that increases the temperatures.
Yes.
Another natural attribute actually that causes climate change is volcanic eruptions.
Yes.
But these are so much uncommon nowadays, so
Yes.
they do not count as much as the direct impact of sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most important to note is that human activities actually contribute the largest part of climate change.
The largest part.
The largest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is through what we call emission of greenhouse gases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can say actually since the year 1800,
Mm-hmm.
the rate of actually acceleration to temperature rise has still been increasing. Actually, by around 1.3 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
So we are still going up.
Yeah.
And this came actually when we started the industrial revolution,
Yes.
when so many industries came into being,
Yeah.
leading to emission of a lot of greenhouse gases.
Yes.
What we call greenhouse gases.
Yes. Maybe you can tell us what
Yeah.
examples of greenhouse gases.
Some of the
What are
examples of actually greenhouse gases, the most common is actually carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
Yes. Yeah, that is very, very common.
Mm-hmm.
Another example is methane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and fluorocarbons.
Mm-hmm.
There are around 6 main greenhouse gases.
Yes.
Actually.
But the major one you are said is
The major
carbon.
one is carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And mostly methane.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have other, apart from, we are taught in school,
Yes.
the gas exchange in human,
yes.
the oxygen and, taking out of carbon dioxide.
True.
Is that the carbon dioxide that you're calling
Yes.
green?
Yes, that is the carbon
greenhouse
dioxide
gas
that I'm talking about.
So that is what is polluting the environment, or there are other sources of the carbon dioxide?
Okay, the other sources, of course, like, for example, like in Nairobi,
Yeah.
people are driving cars every day. You saw what comes out through the exhaust pipe?
Yes.
Those are gases.
Yes.
And they end up going up.
Yes.
Yeah. Methane comes from other sources also, including agriculture, industrial emissions, and all that. So most of these gases come actually out of our activities, actually, as we tend to carry out
our daily activities,
daily economic activities.
Okay.
Mostly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that is what is contributing to the climate change.
Yeah, and actually what happens is that these greenhouse gases actually form a blanket.
Oh.
They form a blanket in a zone actually up there called the ozone layer.
Mm-hmm.
And they absorb actually most of the sun rays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once they absorb that, actually that kinds of heats the atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah, leading to higher temperatures. Yeah, and like I said earlier, this is increasing over and over. It's increasing every year. It may seem very slight, but very slight and gradual, but eventually, if not checked, then this will be catastrophic.
Does that blanket that formed up there have any effect, either health effect, environmental effects?
Yes, it does, because sometimes too much heat, what happens? Number one, water temperatures rise. Yeah, water temperatures rise. And once it rises, actually, animals living in the water systems actually are affected.
Yes.
It affects reproduction. It affects their feeding habits. It affects how food in the food webs actually associate to each other. Sometimes we find animals moving from one area to the other, actually, because they cannot tolerate the present environment. Actually, they tend to look for safer places and areas that are more tolerant. Yeah. Secondly, even to humans, higher temperatures actually, will lead to many problems, skin diseases.
Skin diseases, yes.
Yeah. Other diseases like
droughts also.
Yeah, actually, rainfall will reduce.
Yeah.
Actually, they will be longer. Okay, there are plants, actually erratic plants.
Yeah.
And you know, when plants come, they even wash away some of the shambas.
Yeah.
They make shambas waterlogged,
Oh.
leaching
Mm.
of nutrients in the soil.
Mm.
So you find plants turning yellow.
Okay.
Yeah,
So basically, it's also affecting the food basket.
it's affecting the food basket. Um, Basically, because when there are droughts, you know, there would be
Of
no
course, there will be no
products.
food.
Yeah,
If
there will be no food.
the plants are turning yellow,
Yeah.
definitely we don't expect to have a big harvest
Yeah.
or enough food in the country.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
and you've clearly said that it is due to human activities, especially industrialization and other humanly activities.
Exactly.
So, like maybe you can bring it close to our country. What is one instance that you can say this one can be correlated with climate change effects?
Okay, now, lately, actually, you've been seeing a lot of floods in the Tana Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is basically because although the weather forecast usually warn us in advance because they have early warning systems and all that, the level of rains are usually extraordinary. So filling up the rivers,
Yeah.
and all the rivers being washed down.
Yes.
Actually, it happened in the last rainy season.
Yeah.
Too much water,
Mm.
flooding everywhere, including destroying homes and all that, wildlife habitats and all that, shambas. Yeah. So floods are one episode that are caused by climate change and affect actually the communities in a very great way. They are not able to farm, they are displaced, crops won't grow, animals won't get anything to eat.
Sure. Disease outbreaks.
This is actually this distribution of vectors actually
Yeah.
from one area to another.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can, as days are going by, we can really feel the magnitude and the effects of climate change.
Sure.
So what can people do? Simple things that communities can be able to do. You know, in our show, we always talk about small things, either very minimal cost or at least even zero cost that people can be able to do at their own level.
Okay. Probably I'll start by breaking it down from top to down.
Perfect.
Yeah, because actually countries at country level, we have many countries that are actually seriously emitting gases out there. There are like six main countries, India being one of them, China, the United States, the European Union, and all that. And what is amazing is that actually the 50 least developing countries contribute only like 3% of carbon emissions.
The other 97% is by developed countries.
Exactly. So there have been very many discussions globally regarding this, and introduction of what we call a polluter pay principle, so that whoever emits more actually pays more.
Yeah.
So discussions are actually around this in the Conference of Parties meetings, UNFCCC, are around how these countries are able even to support the developing countries actually to by funding to build adaptation structures and mitigation measures.
Yeah.
So at the lower level, one of the ways actually is the control actually of that carbon dioxide that is loose in the atmosphere. And the best way actually is to encourage everyone to plant trees. Yeah, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, you know, trees absorb carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And by absorbing carbon dioxide, actually it prevents that carbon dioxide from going up the ozone layer.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is one of the key mitigation measures that actually I would encourage anyone to undertake.
To plant a tree.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of action by many institutions in the country, including the National Museums of Kenya where I work. There's a target actually by the government to print actually 1.5 million or billion trees every year.
Every year.
Yeah,
wow.
So initiatives are there.
Yes.
And everyone is getting to the ground to have at least every Kenyan plant a tree.
It's a challenge for everybody.
Exactly.
Have you planted a tree? Have you nurtured one? planting is one thing and taking care is another thing. You know, just the other day we interviewed a young girl who was telling us that she has an initiative. She's encouraging people to plant trees during their birthdays. Like if you cut, before you cut your birthday, plant a tree.
Exactly.
During anniversaries, people can plant trees and they can take care of it, and maybe they can name them their names to, you know, just to entice people to plant more trees.
Sure.
So it is planting of trees. Is there something else maybe people can do?
Yeah, there are many other things actually. Mitigation measures are across the board.
Yeah.
Taking care of the environment generally. Avoiding poor waste disposal.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
Yeah.
Where there are water bodies, you find the plastics all over. Yeah. Sensitization.
Yeah.
Actually, anyone that has knowledge about actually climate change and most of the information that would lead to better protection of the environment,
Do it.
actually do it.
Do
Yeah,
it.
it's if you tell a person, the other person tells another person. So, you know, action will be collective.
Okay.
Yeah. I know there are many other things being done, like introduction of curriculum, like in the CMBE
Yeah.
programs.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that that is good. We are seeing a lot of impact, even from school-going children from the early ages. Actually, we need to instill that environmental discipline
Discipline.
from that early
So
age.
you're encouraging us multisectoral approach.
Exactly.
I remember in the 80s when the first case of HIV and AIDS was started, that was the approach that was used.
Sure.
That every government ministry, every organization talked something to do with HIV AIDS. So you're encouraging, we have been there before,
Yes,
we've
yes.
employed such an intervention before and it worked.
Sure.
So even now you are saying that every department, every organization, every institution have something to do with tree planting.
Exactly.
That is so amazing, and we are so privileged to have you. I know you've not talked about marine.
Yes, I haven't.
And aquatic life.
Yes, yes.
So I believe you'll have some more time again on a later date that now we can come and talk about exactly what you are doing.
You're much,
but
much
now,
welcome.
as we conclude,
Yeah.
what do people don't know about you?
Okay. I don't, okay, many things.
Yes.
Okay, I love sports.
Okay.
And in the museum where I'm working, actually, I'm the chair of Museum Dart Club that has excelled actually both nationally and regionally.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I also play volleyball.
Wow.
Yeah, and many other sports actually. I'm a sports person.
Okay. And also a diver, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
you
also a
can
diver.
dive. I don't know how many feet down.
Yeah, you know, you cannot do aquatic research if you cannot
without
dive.
diving.
Yeah, so 25 meters.
25 meters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you'll tell us about that conversation on a later date. You'll tell us if is there any other world below the seas.
Yeah, actually, those are amazing stories because underwater actually is more dense than even aquatic rainforests.
What are you talking about?
The kind of diversity that you find down there.
What?
Plants? Is very diverse. Plants and animals.
Plants and animals.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Including the beautiful coral gardens.
Wow.
The sea grasses. Yeah.
You would want to hear that conversation. Keep logged in here at Sherry the Preventionist. Today we've been having Mr. Edward Njagi, who is a scientist here at the Kenya Museums, and he's challenging us, plant a tree. A tree can save a life. We have to restore our future and we have to safeguard our future. With that, thank you so much for your time. This is all the time that we had today. This is Sherry herself. Here we talk about disease prevention and we always end with small doable actions making a big difference in health. And also we conclude with prevention is better and cheaper than cure all the time. Mr. Njagi, we can say that together. Prevention is better and cheaper than cure all
all
the
the
time.
time.
You have it, you have had it right, guys. Prevention is always cheaper and better than cure. It is practical, it is personal, yet powerful. Stay safe.